Hey guys, it's Kathy and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about reading aloud, the joys of reading aloud, what benefits reading aloud has for your child, and just how you can incorporate that into your family life. So before we get into that, I do want to say I have a special announcement at the end of the video, so make sure that you stick around to the end. And if this is your first time stopping by, my name is Kathy. I'm a homeschool mama of 2 little girls, and I enjoy sharing all things homeschool, motherhood, lifestyle, and some fun DIYs. So if you're into that sort of thing, then feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell because I post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday right here on the channel. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's conversation or topic was inspired by a couple of things. The first of which is this beautiful book that I have finished reading. It is called The Read Aloud Family. I highly recommend this book. If you have not read it, please go ahead and take a gander and look at that book. Take a gander. Take a look at that book. Also, I was listening to a podcast about reading aloud, and I was like, you know what? Reading aloud, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm going to raise my hand and admit that reading aloud was not something that we really did in our family. And that this is a new concept that we've been doing as of late. Now, granted, I've read to my kids when they were smaller, but especially once my oldest was old enough to read, and she started reading very well in first grade. She just like her reading skills took off, and reading alone, she could do that very well. So she started doing more. I started having her read alone, or actually I started having her read. She was reading aloud to me, but she was reading her own books. I wasn't reading to her as much. So this school year, I'm making it a priority to do more read alouds this year, not just for the school year, but just in our family life altogether. Reading aloud is becoming more of an important factor in our family because there's just so many amazing benefits to reading aloud to your kids. One of the things that happens is, I know I'm not alone, that once your kid learns to read on their own, then they are kind of like pushed to reading on their own. And a lot of the reading to them stops. And it shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. You should continue to read to your kid as long as they will listen. I even remember as I was probably maybe 11 or 12. I was in middle school. My sister's 5 years older, and then my cousin is 9 years older than me. So 4 years older than my sister, 9 years older than me. Anyhow, she was well into being a young adult, and my sister was late teens, and my cousin would come over and read to us, and she would read to us these great books, and we sit there on and we're like, Sean, do not read anything until you're with us, and we want to hear what happened next. And we were just so engulfed in the book, and it was a magical thing. And that's probably some of my fondest memories of my cousin, Shawnee, if you're watching. Some of my fondest memory, is probably having her read to us. And like I said, I was in middle school, my sister was in high school, and she was a young adult, and it was just something that bonded us, and it was a magical moment. And you can still have those moments with your children at any age. So some of the benefits I want to share with you reading aloud. If you did not know, there are many wonderful benefits. One of which is when you read aloud to your child, their brain, the part of their brain that's trying to read and decipher sentence structure and try to understand things, that part of their brain can take a rest. And they're able to really and fully concentrate just on the story and understand the story. And then being that you as an adult, you have life experience, you're able to read with the proper rhythm and cadence, and that way they can truly understand the story even more. So reading aloud to your child, it really helps them truly understand. Take all that extra deciphering and all that stuff, it's thrown out the window, and they can just truly sit there and really picture the story, understand the story, and just live inside that story that much more. That also makes the comprehension rate way high. I'm not sure of the exact percentage, but of course, there's some, I'm sure you can Google it and find it out. But the comprehension rate is that much higher because, again, they're not sitting there and they're not trying to decipher all of, what does this word mean? Do I run this on? Do I stop? All of that grammar, they don't have to worry about that. They can truly just listen to the story. And I think that is probably my biggest takeaway from reading aloud, that your children can really understand the story even more Reading aloud also kind of sets up a great atmosphere for a conversation with your children. So as you're reading these stories, and once you're done, with the chapter or the page or the day, or even once you're done with the book, and you take the time to discuss the story, if you're picking stories that have a variety of cultures or environments or situations, now your children are being exposed to so much more than they would be if they were just in their home, in their town, around their friends. Because we may not have people of different ethnicities in our neighborhood, or we may not be able to interact with people of different cultures on a daily basis. But when you have a book, you can expose your children to what the world truly has to offer, and the different circumstances and situations that people have to deal with on the daily. So once you are reading this book, you can then talk to them about that. It opens things up. It opens up conversation. It actually creates a safe space so that your child knows that they can actually come and talk to you even outside of the book. This is the space that, I can talk about difficult things. I can talk about fun things. I can talk about heavy things, light things, whatever it may be. They know they have this safe space to talk to you. And even if you or your kids, if you guys aren't able to just say, hey, mom, I have this problem, or hey, son, what's going on, you can use the book as a way to navigate those conversations. That might be an opportunity that your child may open up and say, you know what, I relate to this character because I dealt with this the other day when a person took my lunch money, or whatever it may be. I don't know what kids are doing these days. I think they're doing way more than taking lunch money. But you get the idea. It opens up a space for conversation, and it kind of lets that guard down because you're so thinking about the character. But as you just dissect the book and delve into the story, you can then begin to speak. Even if you're talking to younger kids and you're reading aloud to a younger child, and the story is about feeling sad and emotions, you can talk to your child about, what do you do when you feel sad? Have you ever felt angry, so angry that you wanted to scream? Yeah, so what did you do? How do you think we should deal with that whenever you feel that way? Or maybe they'll even come up and say, hey, mom, yeah, I remember one time I felt so mad at my sister for taking something. I just wanted to scream. And now that place for conversation has been opened up. Those doors are open, and you're able to speak and talk with your kids in a safe space. Also, it builds beautiful memories. A lot of things when you are reading aloud, you don't have to just sit in one space. You can read aloud on a road trip. You can read aloud at breakfast, go in the backyard, have a picnic. You can do all these things, and children will remember the atmosphere, the environment. Maybe every time you read aloud, you bake fresh baked cookies. So every time they smell fresh baked cookies, they're going to think about the time they read Peter Pan, or anytime that they take a long road trip, they're going to think about anytime that they read Charlotte's Web, or whatever it may be. We're building memories and putting little pockets of memories in their mind in a positive way, because we want reading to be something that's positive for them, not something that's only associated with school, only associated with assignments, but you're able to build these beautiful memories and beautiful thoughts when it comes to reading, and reading aloud definitely does that. I also want to talk about ways to actually incorporate reading aloud into your family. Like I mentioned before, this was something that we kind of stopped doing. We kind of stopped reading aloud because my daughter could read. And it's like, okay, well, don't really need to read to her as much because she can read. But as we began our read aloud journey, I can definitely tell that she really enjoys it. I really enjoy it, and as a family, we really enjoy it as well. So ways that you can actually incorporate this into your life, because you don't have to dedicate 30 minutes, guys. If you have 10 minutes of your day to read aloud, that's it. That's enough to do such a great benefit in your children's lives. The first way that you can do that is, first of all, do not turn this into something that you have to do every day, because we all know when we say, oh, we have to do something every day, like that just puts so much pressure on things and the stress, and it may last for a week, and then we'll fall off, and then we beat ourselves up because we couldn't stick to it. But instead, try something like, hey, I'm going to do 10 minutes every other day, or I'm going to do 10 minutes on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or I'm going to do 10 minutes on the days that we have dance, or the days that we go to soccer practice. Try something like that so that you just kind of get in the groove of doing it. And then, sooner or later, you're going to realize that your kids are going to ask you, hey, let's finish that story, or what happens next, or you guys are going to want to do it more, and then you'll be able to just naturally incorporate it into your life. A way that has worked for us is that I've actually added to our morning basket. So it's a part of our morning basket routine. We have a read aloud, and I normally read a chapter, unless it's a crazy long chapter and it goes more than 20-30 minutes. So we do about 20-30 minutes of reading in our morning routine. So for us, we're actually only doing read aloud Monday through Thursday, because that's the days that we do school, and so those are the days that we read aloud or read from our read aloud book on Mondays through Thursdays. And I put it in our morning basket, and that's how we get through it. That's how I've incorporated it into our lives. So that's a tip too. So if you kind of want to incorporate in your life, add it to your curriculum. Again, it doesn't have to be 30 minutes of the day. It can only be 10 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. It can be whatever it is that you have time for to fit it in. Another awesome way, and this is something that I've started doing, utilize audiobooks and podcasts. Guys, you don't have to be the person that's reading. You can still achieve the same benefits by having an actor read a book, or someone on a podcast, reading a book aloud or telling a story aloud. You still get the same benefits, and you get to rest your voice a little bit by utilizing those tools. So when you're on your way to dance practice, while you guys drive home, you listen to your book. In the mornings in your house, hey Alexa, turn on, the book. Let them read it while you guys are eating breakfast. That way you can still eat and you're listening just like everyone else is listening. There's so many ways. There's so many books on Audible, and there are amazing books and stories on podcasts that you can just listen to, and you can incorporate that into your life. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Before I go, I do want to show you this other book that I found, and it is called our Read Aloud Family Journal. I just got it the other day. I am super excited to start writing in it, and it really is just a really small journal. Here's the front here, and then it has a place for you to write all of your books. It's made for 100 books. First few pages, you just write down the titles of your books, and then once you go in, you can then write down the book, the date, the title, the author, and then a memory. Like I said, build memories around reading aloud. If you are doing this while you were taking a road trip to Georgia, or you were in the mountains of Tennessee, whatever it may be, or you were just in your backyard and you guys were scared by a bumblebee and start running around, and that was the best moment of reading because you guys laughed and screamed and realized like how crazy you guys looked, write that memory down. So this is a great book. We're going to start adding our books to this Read Aloud Family Journal. And I'm actually going to do a giveaway and give away one of these to one of my subscribers. So check out all the details in the description to find out how you can win this book for yourself. But as always, guys, I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that, you gained some insight on something. If you did, I'd love to hear your takeaway from it. If you have any tips as well as how to incorporate reading aloud into the family, please let me know. If you've recently started incorporating reading aloud in your family, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you don't read aloud, it's okay. Let me know why you don't. Just let's talk about this, right? Don't forget, hang out with us over on Instagram. You can see more of our day-to-day life over there and get to know us just a little bit more. And I post new videos here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos. So I will talk to you guys in a couple of days.